Hi guys and girls, Rose Burnett here from Mind, Body, Soul Balance. This is your daily inspiration. So today we're going to be talking about how to push through challenges. And I think it's a really important topic. And, you know, I think in everyday life we can have challenges thrown at us all the time. It can be internal, can be external. It can be from people, places, experiences, situations, events happening around us, right? That can be challenging. And how you show up within those challenges will dictate how things get resolved in terms of what the outcome is going to be, right? We can only ever take responsibility for self in how we show up, how we react, how we respond, the choices we make in the moment, right? When challenges come up for us. Challenges can be anything. They can be physical illness. It can be to do with yourself or others. It can be financial challenges. It can be things that you're trying to achieve, that you've got limits and boundaries and things that you need to push through so you can get to the next level of where you want to go. You know, you might have challenges with your job situation. You might be job hunting, trying to get a job. You've been going at it for ages and you're still not getting anywhere. There's all sorts of challenges in life, right? Often there's something that makes us feel stressed about, worried about, fearful about. It can be something that comes in at us unexpectedly, right? You know, relationships can give you challenges on all sorts of levels because you've got other people involved. So you're not only dealing with your own challenges, you're dealing with their challenges, right? As well, which is external to you, but enough to impact your life. So yeah, it can be with your children. They can be going through challenges. You need to sort it out. It can be with, you know, parents, older parents, relationships with family and friends, all sorts of things. It can be external challenges that are things that just happen to drop into your life because of something's going on around you, whether it's the economy, whether it's government, whether it's natural disasters. Everything can become a challenge, right? And that's not to say that we always live in a state of stress and worry, but we can allow it to infiltrate our life to a high level if you're not careful, right? There's also moments where we have a lot of joy and happiness in our life and a lot of stability and security and love, right? But there's the contrast. There's always that contrast. So how do we deal with challenges when they come up? And, you know, challenges can be something from minor to something major. The more challenging it is, the more it's going to stress us out. But there can be challenges that are invigorating. In fact, that is a sign of personal growth, and you're trying to push through self-imposed limits to achieve higher goals and dreams. Yeah, there's challenges in that. And there can be those that are deeply challenging, right? At an emotional, mental level, physical level, financial level. So what do you do in terms of those challenges so that you don't crumble and fall and stay stuck and be a victim and get stuck in blame mode and all that kind of stuff? Because you've got some choices there, right? You can be on that side of the coin where you just fall over and lay in a hole and go, I can't cope with this, right? That happens to a lot of people. Ideally, at that point, we can all do that, but you lift yourself up and keep going, right? Or do you come on this side, which is standing in your empowerment? And you can be in the middle, right, where you're not quite sure which way you're going to go, right? And you're just still pondering what's going on in your life in a state of confusion and procrastination. We can have a spectrum of all sorts of things playing out when we're faced with challenges, yeah? I think at the worst end of the scale is the victim, right? Everything else is happening to me. I'm going to blame everything else for what's going on in my life, right? And I'm going to hold myself stuck because I'm expecting somebody else to fix this problem for me. I've got no resources within myself or around myself to help myself. Yeah, that's victim mode. Yeah, victim mode. You can stay in that mode for a long time. It's self-imposed, right? There's always a payoff for staying in that kind of situation. One, you don't have to face what's going on in your life, what's not working. You don't have to take any responsibility for it. It's somebody else's issue, right? I didn't create it. Hello, you did. Yeah. It doesn't matter how deeply challenging it is, even if it starts off with an external situation. Before it got to deeply challenging, you would have had lots of signs and signals along the way to say, hey, heads up, storm coming. If it's your finances, you would have received notifications going, you owe this bill, or you owe that bill, or we're about to take this off you, or, you know, all those kind of stuff, yeah? Could be anything that they're about to take off you, right, because you haven't been able to afford it. It could be the fact that you run up credit card debt and you suddenly got yourself into a situation, right? Or you're not earning enough, but you've not figured out how to earn more, or your debts are higher than what your bills are, or than your money is, right? Your income. All sorts of stuff can play out, but it can just be something simple. If we take finances, for example, it can be not facing things when they come in and putting the blinkers on and going, oh, that'll work itself out somehow. Yeah, 2 months later you fall in a hole, deeply challenging, or 6 months later you fall in a deeply, deeply challenging hole, right, in terms of your financial situation. Whether it's to do with your home security, your home life, your home that you're living in, whatever it is financially for you, you would have had lots of little signals along the way to say, hey, you need to address this. Dare I say, when you're in victim mode over here, right, is that you had all those signs and signals, you still got the blinkers on, you're still expecting somebody else to fix it for you, external to yourself, right? And the world's going to go, it doesn't work like that. Universe has been trying to help you the whole way along, going, we're trying to show you that you need to sort this out. It can be relationships derailing, right? You had lots of signs and signals, you ignored a whole lot of stuff, right? All sorts of challenges can come your way, but often there's a pivotal point where they start off small and then gradually get bigger and bigger and bigger because you've ignored a whole lot of stuff and you've not faced something. Often what we don't face within us is an area of our life that we need to strengthen. It can be shadow side of self that trips us up right through life, and there's all sorts of reasons for that, yeah. A lot of it can be even the ways in which we've grown up, and that aspect of life is you're just modeling exactly what you grew up with, right? In terms of that. It's very easy to do the blame game when you've got no internal resources or ways of trying to figure out your problem, right? And be helpless. Yeah, it's not going to help you whatsoever. It's just going to get you in a bigger hole, right? You want to avoid that. You absolutely want to avoid that. That's why we're having this chat today, yeah? Because you can become so disempowered, and that is a choice, to be disempowered, right? I have to be honest with you, nothing grates me more than people being victim mode, because I've grown up with somebody in my family that did that all the time, right? So for me, it's kind of a bit of a personal bugbear. But I think, you know, we can all go through challenges in life and they make us more resilient, hopefully, and we learn how to manage them better. You can always help yourself. You can tell yourself a whole lot of excuses why you can't do something, why you can't sort it out, why you've got no one to help you, nothing, no resources, whatever. Yeah, there's always a solution somewhere. So it's about taking action. Yeah, it's about taking action. But how do we deal with these challenges? Well, you've got to break the situation apart, right? Break it apart piece by piece and go, first up, how did I end up in this situation? What did I ignore? What do I need to strengthen about myself so that I don't get in this situation again? What is it with me physically in this particular moment in time I can do to help myself out of this challenge? What action can I take? That simple step of looking at it, going, what action can I take right now? Whether it's to reach out and ask for advice about your situation from someone, friend, a professional, yeah. Ask for, dare I say, if you talk about finances, reach out to the person you owe the bill with and go, can I get an extension on that? I'm going through a tough time right now. Guaranteed most of them are trying to help you out, yeah. They probably gave you that option 3 months ago and you ignored it, yeah. Just go, I'm going through a tough time right now. It might get you nowhere, but at least you've asked, right? So then you check your next option, yeah. There's a whole lot of stuff you can look at in that regard. Why do I bring finances up so much? Often it's one of people's really big bugbears, apart from relationships, yeah. You know, relationship challenges are another one. But that point of taking action, right, it totally changes the way you look at things because it puts you back into your personal empowerment. So if you're somebody that's stuck in victim mode, helpless, the first thing you need to do is take action, even if it's a tiny step. Take action, right? Because it's going to put you on the path back to your personal empowerment. There's a video I did on empowerment, so go and check it out in terms of inspiration, yeah. So what do we do in terms of challenges? Well, we have to face them, right? We can walk around and try and ignore them for a while. If you're in a state of high anxiety, before you tackle a challenge, bring yourself back into balance, right? Because when you're in high anxiety, high levels of worry or fear, you're not going to be thinking clearly. And in those situations, you're often not going to be making choices that are in your best interests, right? Because you're out of balance. So in those instances, you need to release the emotions, release the fear, and bring yourself back into your masculine energy, right? Step out of your emotions and come back into your masculine energy. Guy or girl, we all have them. It's your rational side brain, yeah? It's about leaving the emotional stuff and going, not even going to have the fear, the doubt, the worry, everything else going on. I need to step out of the emotional stuff and look at this in a factual way as to exactly what's going on here. Whether it's a relationship, whether it's your finances, whether it's a health challenge, yeah? We can worry a whole lot about stuff that's never going to happen. It's called fearing the unknown, right? Yeah. How many times have you feared the unknown and it's been okay? Or there might have been hard stuff in it, right? But once you start taking away the unknown and start taking action towards things, steps you can actually do yourself, that bit of unknown suddenly becomes known, right? Because you know what the next step is. Okay, well, I tried that. Did it work? Didn't it work? Didn't work. All right, I'll try another one, right? Different option, different solution. When you start looking at things like that, instead of, you've probably heard me say this, right? Instead of focusing on the problem, you're suddenly focusing on ways in which you can help yourself and your solutions, yeah? There's so many more solutions than there is in that one tiny little problem that you focused on. It doesn't matter how big that problem is, it's your single point of focus. It's the only thing you're focused on. When you can only focus on the problem, right, you don't see the opportunities around you, the alternatives to help yourself. It's a big aha moment, right, when you focus on solutions, because it allows you to go, in this moment, what can I do to help myself? Yeah. So with challenges, so I've given you some options, right? Take action, get out of your emotions, get into your masculine energy, stand in your empowerment, right? You can definitely release some of that stress and worry by talking to other people, just venting what's going on in your life, sharing your problem, right? You don't want to dump your problems on people, but sometimes it just helps to talk to a friend confidentially when you're going through a tough time. Because they might say to you and give you an inkling of something that you haven't possibly thought about that you could try. And you go, oh, I didn't think about that. How many times have you done that? Gone, oh, didn't think about that. Somebody else gave you a different perspective of how to look at it. Yeah. And, you can't, and I'm going to say, try avoid going around and telling your friends that you're in victim mode and you can't help yourself and you're hopeless, right? Because you're just going to drop them up the wall, really. They're just going to look at you and go, pack it up and step out of that. You need to help yourself, right? Yeah. All right, so how else do you work through challenges? So what if they're challenges that you're trying to achieve something and you're slogging away, you know you want to get to the next level and you're not there yet? I will just say to you, for some of you that are got a deeply challenging thing that you've got no figuring out, you're in a position where you have no idea how you're going to fix it, right? You need to just let go of the outcome, take a little bit of time for self, and bring your emotions back into check, right? Because that can be deeply challenging, deeply hurtful, whatever you're going through, right? You need to come back into center. And sometimes there are times when there's nothing you can do, and the universe is literally going to take whatever that challenge is out of your life, whether it's your home, your car, your relationship, your marriage, whatever. They're sweeping it out, right? Because you've ignored everything else up until then, or it's something that's come in as a shock. It's going to get swept out of your life. Right? At that point, there's nothing. Sometimes there's nothing you can do. It's going to be swept out of your life. At that point, there's a step after that, right? Where you pick yourself up and you stand up. And your life's going to be pretty different after that. And it's a point of transformation. That transformation will probably literally change your entire life orientation to get you onto a better path. Right? So sometimes those deeply, deeply challenging things are to get you onto a better path in life. Yeah, guaranteed you're going to end up in a much more transformed state, much more empowered, right? But that's a conscious choice about how you look at that situation. So let's come back to What if you're trying to achieve something really, really big and you've not quite gotten into the next level and you're totally frustrated, you don't know how to get through the challenge? You might be trying to set a business up and you're doing your hardest and you're trying to figure out ways to monetize it and nothing's really working, or some of it's coming in, but it's been challenging in terms of, because you've got to provide material needs for yourself, yeah? All these kind of things. And how do you get through those challenges? In those moments, instead of having this massive big picture, right, of what you're trying to achieve, you need to, and you can break it down into things, but on those days where you are feeling that challenge, instead of giving up, you work on something you can work on that day. Often what happens is when you work on something that you love doing, it brings out all of your creative juices, it brings out your passion for your work. When you start realizing that in that day nothing really bad is going to happen to you, because when you wake up tomorrow the sun's still going to come up, right? You might have a different perspective on it the next day, but when you continue to just keep taking the steps that you're guided to take, or just focus on something that you can do that helps out whatever you're doing, because it's always a series of steps. Growth is always a series of steps. Achievement is always a series of steps. You just got to keep taking that next step, yeah? But when you continue, and particularly in business, if you continue to do the things you love, it joyfully lights you up, right? It compounds. The more it compounds, the more you grow your business, you grow your branding, your influence. And I know I'm talking to business owners right now, but there's probably a lot of you out there that even might want to run with an idea. And you can often have a challenging beginning because it takes a while to get traction. Yeah, with any business, any goal, any idea, it takes traction. It takes a while. It's all about energy exchange. All about energy exchange. What about other challenges? Physical challenges. So what if you've had somebody, I can speak from experience being so clumsy, dare I say, I've had a few accidents. Working through physical challenges, I can tell you can always overcome them. Don't ever have somebody tell you can't overcome it. I mean, obviously there's some things in life, and dare we say it, and I don't really want to say it, that, we leave this earth from, right? Those are deeply challenging. You can only love yourself in those moments, right? And the people around you. But really, we're talking about those things that can be overcome, whether it's a physical injury that's preventing you from doing your work or doing your exercise, or it's an illness that's doggedly following you. You will overcome it, right? I can share with you a time when I was in a highly stressful corporate role, right? It gave me an ulcer, but it also triggered the level of stress. Don't underestimate stress, right? It triggered a neurological condition in my body where I basically started losing the feeling in my feet, my hands, the strength in my legs. And I'd have times where, just my back would go numb, parts of my body would go numb. And I went to specialist after specialist. I lost a ton of weight. It would have been 2010, quite a while ago. Lost a ton of weight and it just dropped off me, no specialist could figure out what was going on. And I spent about 9 to 10 months trying to get somebody to give me an answer. Nobody could, But meantime, I was struggling to walk upstairs. My gait was all clumsy in terms of my feet because they weren't coordinated, because they'd gone numb. I couldn't open things with my hands. It was totally frustrating, by the way. And I had a level of tiredness in my body. And, specialist after specialist, nobody could tell me. And in the end, I gave up on the medical field. And I went, you know what? I'd read everything about the nerve regeneration. It's incredibly slow to regenerate your nerves. But I just started, and I was always a swimmer. I couldn't even swim. I couldn't even get my legs to kick strength enough to swim laps. I used to swim 50 to 70 laps in the pool, and I'd lost all that strength. So I thought, you know what? My nerves, I'm going to trust my body. My nerves will know how to fire off and connect with each other. If they're apart right now, I'm going to make sure that I keep working so that they get back to here and fire off, And so what I did is I always had a kickboard, right? But I got these special fins that would help me in the water to get a bit more strength. But I just basically kept doing lap after lap. And, I couldn't do many to start off with, maybe 10 because of the weakness. But I gradually got my body strengthening up. I got my feet to start working. That was still numb, by the way. And it took me many, many months. many, many months to recover from that, but I didn't give up, and I knew that my nerves would fire back off. They'd been working in my body for years, right? So those nerves knew how to fire off. And I did fully recover, but it took me probably 18 months. Yeah, 18 months. I still have numb toes to this day. The ends of my fingers, I still have trouble opening things, right? But I overcame it. I overcame it from determination, willpower, persistence, belief in myself. That's a physical challenge, right? When people say to me they can't exercise because they've got a physical challenge, during that time I was watching, there's a guy that was swimming in the pool with one leg, right? So don't tell me you can't ever get in the pool and do some exercise. You can't exercise unless you're completely quadriplegic or paraplegic, right? You've always got within you the ability to exercise, regardless of what injuries you've got. You know, I've had a fractured kneecap, I've broken a hand, all those kind of things, yeah, you can recover from. Had a major car accident, derailed me for 9 months of rehab, yeah. You can always recover your body, but you've got to want to, and you've got to just have faith and trust in yourself. And sometimes you've just got to know, in terms of, regardless of the medical stuff going around, there's some great practitioners, physios are amazing, right? That'll help you get back on your path to health and wellness. You've got to trust in those too. But your body will regenerate, regardless of if it's an illness or if it's a physical accident or whatever, yeah. You always got the power within you, the empowerment, the personal power within you to overcome challenges, particularly physical and illness, yeah. All right, so if you've got any questions, I hope this has helped. In terms of challenges, you've just got to never give up, right? Don't ever give up. If you need to, pause and reset. If you're feeling really defeated, pause and reset, because you'll always feel better after you take a pause, yeah. You know, one of the most valuable things you can do is learn to manage your emotions in those situations so that you step out of your emotions and into your empowerment. It's always going to help. Yeah. There's always that point where obviously you can call on your angels and your spirit guides, but mostly in this physical world, there's just you. Yeah, they're always going to have your back, right? But there's you. Step into your empowerment, your personal power. You've got this. You've always got this. Yeah. The challenges are here to help you grow. The challenges are here to help you overcome, to be a better person, to show up better in life, to show what you're made of. And you're made of some strong, strong stuff. Yeah, a lot of you have been on this planet many, many times before. I'm going to share something with you, right, in terms of soul lights, in terms of the energy healing work I've done, in terms of my own past lives, right? Many of you have been on this planet before as warriors, leaders, guy or girl. You've got that within you, right? Whether you come from Egypt, whether you come, like, in terms of your past lives, way back when, right? You've always had that ability within you to be super, super strong. You've got to remember that strength within you, that power you have within you, the divinity you have within you. You are a star child, yeah? You are absolutely a star child of the highest, not only integrity, but divinity. And sometimes you have to remember that strength and lean on that strength. You got this. All right, much love, much light. Namaste.